Ever felt like life was a roller coaster and you're just hanging on for dear life? When stress hits hard, it's easy to feel trapped, overwhelmed, and lost. But what if there's a secret weapon hiding within inside yourself? Could it possibly be your mindset? Today I'm going to dive deep into the power of perspective and how a simple shift in thinking can truly help us weather life's storms. Let's find out together, and I'm going to share 4 powerful techniques that'll help you regain control and navigate those tough times with confidence and resilience. Life's toughest moments can feel overwhelming due to stress, and stress can create a sense of being buried under the weight of uncertainty of what am I going to do and where am I going to do? And the anxiety that sets in with the stress just paralyzes you, and that's when you really need to take action most, when you're stuck, but you're feeling helpless. And it makes you feel like you're a passenger in the back seat of a car and you've got no control over the car, which is symbolic for your own life. So then the key question is there a way to regain control of that steering wheel of your own life again? Tough times can make it hard to imagine some way out because we're struggling and we're just living a life of being stuck all the time. You feel helpless. The paralysis makes it difficult to take the important actions. And you believe that you're just never going to get out of it. And that limiting belief, that self-sabotaging belief, reinforces those feelings of hopelessness, coupled with the feeling of isolation. No one understands me, no one gets me, and I feel on my own and totally lost and in pain because no one understands me. And those emotions create barriers that prevent you to move forward in your own life. But it's time to turn that around, where you start tuning in to your own power to overcome. Despite feeling isolated, you're not alone in your struggles. You're not the first and you're not the last. You're not helpless, and you have the power to regain control. And that control and change begins with a small mindset shift on how you perceive your situation and the matters of your own life that you're going through. By altering your perspective, you can start tackling the objectives that are in your path and blocking your path forward. It starts with recognizing and believing that you do have this inner strength and capability to move forward with your life. So now I'm going to give you some practical strategies. The first one is called reframing the negative thoughts. It's a powerful tool for mindset shifts, which teaches you to reframe, flip the switch on the negative thoughts. In tough situations, it's easy to fall into the trap of unhelpful thinking, and thinking like thoughts like, I'll never be able to do this. Negative self-talk such as, I'm not good enough. It undermines our confidence and our progress. And reframing involves the idea of transforming those negative thoughts into positive, empowering thoughts. Our power lies in how do we choose to respond. But if we can take a step back and realize, I can't always change circumstances in my life, but I can change the way I think about life and hence the way I respond. Replace I can't with I'll figure this out to gain control and perspective. This practice helps us rebuild our own belief in ourselves by focusing on a more positive outlet, which lets us focus on our strengths and our capabilities to solve a problem rather than lament and moan and be caught up in this vicious hamster wheel cycle of negative thinking. You want to flip those thoughts around. It's almost like flipping a coin from heads to tail, from negative thought patterns to positive ones, to empowering patterns, which opens you up to new possibilities. Flip, this is too hard, or I give up, to I acknowledge this is too hard, but I've just got to keep on trying and shooting forward anyway. Replace I'll never figure this out with I can figure it out. I can't do this till I can do this. You've got to be in the wrestling ring of life and you've got to keep on moving forward. And when you keep on wrestling and grappling with the problem, Those small shifts in the language are going to lead to big changes in how we approach the problems and the obstacles. Just a slight change in language, slight change in our thoughts. Your existence alone holds value, and often we feel valueless. But you need to realize by the mere fact that you exist, you count. You're an essential part of this greater puzzle called life. Things may seem random, but it's often there happening to you for a deeper purpose. Life doesn't happen at you or against you. It actually happens for you, guiding you and lifting you up as you navigate your way through the challenge. That challenge can actually break you or make you, but you can change that problem into a challenge as a game almost to try and propel you forward to solving that problem by treating it like a challenge, by almost treating it like a game. Because those choices you make against those challenges are opportunities for personal growth and transformation. Whether through destiny or fate or a high power like I call God, we're all constantly evolving. You weren't there by chance. You're there for a reason. Those situations were put in front of you because they're not unworkable. Even the most difficult situations, you can still find an inner peace if you're willing to stand above it and look at it from a higher perspective, knowing that they were put there in front of you for a reason. And your own positive impact on the world that we all like to have doesn't have to be through some grand gesture of building the next electrical car or building the next skyscraper or rocket to the moon. It can be with the most smallest things that you can have an impact on your life and on those around you. It could be as simple as smiling at a stranger, which can help lift them up, maybe even save their life if they're feeling down. Every action, no matter how small, has the potential to influence the world in powerful ways. It's like little droplets going into a pond. Those little droplets may seem insignificant, but the pond, if you look at the drops going down, creates a ripple effect on the greater universe around. So your little kind deed, the wider world may not see it overtly in a large way, but it's having a positive effect on the world. Now, the next technique I want to give you is the power of gratitude with the subset of microscopic appreciations. This is so powerful as they work together. Gratitude is a powerful tool for shifting focus, especially during tough times when we need to flip the switch. Look for something, no matter how small, no matter how microscopic, that you can appreciate. Because there's always the silver lining in the difficult problems that we have. There's always something small that we still can appreciate, no matter how small. When I'm working with my clients, I'm always looking for those microscopic things that are good about them to help lift them up, to get them to loosen up and change their perspective about themselves and their life. So microscopic appreciations could be from the tiniest things. It could be from a pen, just a simple pen. Do you know how great a pen is? Pens have been used, writing tool, to write down the greatest things in the world and the greatest innovations. Through journaling, you might even come up with some of your own innovations. Or it could be simply just savoring the food that you're eating or the cup of coffee, if you will, that you're drinking. Enjoy the warmth of that coffee or tea on a cold day. Or even the cool breeze that blows on you on a hot day. Or the sun shining on you on a cold day. When we shift our attention to those small things and away from the things that are going wrong to the good things that are going right, you just lighten up emotionally. And when you appreciate anything, it means you're going up in value. To appreciate is to increase in value. So when you increase in value, the people in front of you, the objects in front of you, they increase in value too, and all boats rise with the tide. When the tide comes in, all boats are going up together. When you appreciate the others around you, you're going to go up too. The next tool I want to give you, the final tool in the tool set of the 4 tools I've given you, is the power of chunking down, breaking down into small achievable goals. When you're overwhelmed by a big problem, break it down into a smaller problem. So you've got this big problem. Let's take the first 4 lines of that problem. Let's say I'm trying to read some instructions on how to build something. I don't understand it all. Take the first part. Take the foundational first parts of something, break it down, 2 or 3 lines. You don't understand a paragraph, 1 sentence. Break it down into small, achievable, bite-sized goals, which allows you to get a sense of control back in your life. I can understand that part. I don't understand that part. Okay, I might ask a friend, or I might go and reread it again and again and again. I might even make some notes of what I do understand, and slowly building up that chain of understanding till you understand the whole thing. And each small understanding and victory builds that momentum, reinforces the possibility of success in that area. So progress, even in tiny baby steps, will create the motivation and impetus for you to keep just going forward with greater and more success. And this approach of breaking it down into baby steps changes overwhelming challenges into manageable, bite-sized tasks, one step at a time. You see, as a kid for myself, I was just faced with a really difficult life in school. I was lost, disconnected, nothing was understandable to me. And that experience led me to question my own sense of why I'm even here. What's my purpose in life? My difficult childhood and school left such terrible scars on my life that they stopped me from moving forward. I got so sick of being sick and tired of things that I woke up. And that realization for myself marked a significant mindset shift, setting the stage for personal growth. And when you come along and create your own explosion of waking yourself up by reframing things and flipping the switch, gratitude, with focusing the gratitude on even the tiniest things, from a pencil or a pen, and together with chunking down into small bite-sized chunks to be able to handle a problem, it'll lead you down the path of success and your own reawakening. I began reframing my own negative thoughts, practicing gratitude, micro appreciations, and life just got better and better. From small achievable goals, from like walking in the park, simple little exercises. I can't do any push-ups, start with 1 a day, and then the next day maybe build up to 2 a day. You can break down your studies from a whole paragraph to 1 sentence. Reduces the overwhelm, getting stuck, getting lost, and ask yourself, what did that small little bit do? Or what does it mean? Or how does it fit into the puzzle? Let's do 1 piece at a time. When you're doing a puzzle, you don't put 20 pieces in the puzzle together at once. You do 1 piece at a time. And then as your confidence goes, you might get faster and faster. Each small victory is going to build your confidence and sense of progress. And these steps eventually help me for my own life regain my own sense of purpose and control in my life. And I do this with myself, done this with my clients, and it just has such a great effect on them to help them move forward with their own life. Emphasizing the power of gratitude, coupled with appreciations on the small things to be thankful for, breaking down the challenges. It just helps you move forward. And I've seen it on my clients' faces that when we break down the problem into small, manageable chunks, which they often can't do themselves because they're so emotional, but when we break it down and I notice those microscopic appreciations of what they can appreciate in the problem, changing it into a game, into a challenge, it just does amazing things when we've broken it down into the bite size that the client can then take a proactive approach to solve those little baby problems and moving baby steps forward, adding up to 1 big gigantic leap. Because each small accomplishment builds the momentum and restores the confidence that from I can't do this to I can because we've flipped the switch. And this allows you and me and everyone that does this to embrace their own power and freedom of choice to make better, healthier choices rather than being the passenger in the back of the car that's at the mercy of life. It led me to feel a sense of capability again, because I realized that I had the strength to overcome those difficult challenges and finally take charge again of my life. I'm back in the steering wheel, driving the car again of life, rather than being led. Small, consistent, 1-inch improvements, 1-inch changes, 1 push-up to 2 push-ups, whatever it is. It helped me prove to myself that change is possible where you embrace your own inner power, one small step at a time. So to wrap things up, let's just quickly recap the 4 key strategies that we've learned today over here. First one was reframing those negative thoughts, where we flip the switch and create a transformation in our perspective with our words and our thoughts from I can't to I can. I'll never be able to do this, so I'm going to keep on shooting forward and breaking through and really trying to solve the problem. I can do it. I can overcome it. We talked about gratitude with the subheading underneath the micro appreciations, even a bunch of flowers on a bush, the grass on the floor, the beautiful cool wind on a hot sunny day. Whatever it is, savor it, tune into it, because when you appreciate anything, you'll go up and the situation and the people around you will go up as well, like all boats rise with the tide. And we talked about chunking down into small, bite-sized, achievable goals. You take a big problem and you break it down into small steps. Start with the first one. Start with the base. Start at the ground floor and just work on that, even if it takes you a long time. Once that grounding is done, you can go into the next step. Baby steps at a time. And through doing that, you're going to lighten your load in life in general. Because these strategies that I've given you today are essential tools for shifting our mindset and reclaiming control even when life throws curveballs at us, which they always will. By putting these practices in your life, it's going to create a positive outlook. Remember, every small step you take leads to a significant change, even if it's just a small baby step. But the small steps add up to a gigantic leap after time. I want to thank you for watching. If you haven't liked and subscribed to this, please do. And please share this information with other people who might also benefit, because when you lift up other people, everyone wins.